Hello everybody, how you doing? Hope you had a lovely Christmas and I hope you have a lovely New Year as well. Welcome back to another Saturday Skin Showcase. I'm your host Hedge, along with my co-host right here, Mr. MICRØ. We have a few groups of skins to look at today, which we'll review from both a gameplay and a Steam market investment point of view. First, we'll take a look at this week's Rust item store rotation, and we'll follow that up with a look at any workshop submissions from the week, which could be viewed as continuations of existing sets. We hope that this information will properly prepare us to make informed investment decisions about both upcoming and existing Steam market items. If you have any insights of your own that you'd like to share, please feel free to contribute to the discussion via Twitch chat over there during the stream, or we welcome you to join our investment community on Discord, linked below in the YouTube descriptions. And with that, Mr. MICRØ, shall we start discussing the first skin of the week? It's right next to us, next to the fireplace. Why do we have a wood box right next to the fireplace? It seems a bit unwise. So, here we are. We have right here a very nice blue. Turn the lights off if you can, Mr. MICRØ. We need to get a good look at this. It glows in the dark. It's got a nice pattern. Oh. One sec. Turn it off if you can.
In the stocking?
Yeah, I got stuck in the stocking. Oh, I'm not in form. I enjoyed myself too much during Christmas. But let's stick to the point. What do we have right here in front of us? We have a new small box. It is the Blue Lotus Box made by Mr. JJ. His first ever skin submission to be accepted. Congratulations to you, good sir. And, well, as I talked about this earlier in the week, small box skins are pretty good investments. When I first looked at this 2 days ago, there were only 3 small box skins that were below $2. Right now, what is this for sale at? $2. So if you're thinking of something that might be a pretty good investment, something that you might want to put your money towards, this might be the skin of the week, as I said. And earlier today, I took a nice quick look. Oh, using your lights, good sir. So we'll just get a good look at that as you move the lights around. Right now, there's 5 of them below the $2 threshold, and this is kind of to be expected. We right now are in the good times. Right now, we are in post-Christmas times where we see Rust skins selling at their highest prices, with loads of people having time off, loads of people having Christmas money and whatnot. There's going to be a lot of money being thrown towards skins, and because of that, the increased demand, skin prices do go up. Now, a lot of these small boxes have been going up in price, and you might think, oh, this is going to be easy, instant money. But do be cautious. All skin prices are a bit inflated, so don't assume this is going to be easy, instant money. It's also abnormal. So we could just do our buy orders first this Wednesday night or Thursday, depending where you are in the world, and then we can consider maybe buying this on the Thursday. That's the safest approach in regards to trying to make a profit out of these skins that we talk about today. But yes, this is it's not an insane type of like crazy looking colourful box, but it's a nice, I wouldn't say fairly simple pattern. What are those, do you remember those colouring tools that you could get as kids and you kind of draw around them, MICRØ? Do you remember what they're called?
Like a spirograph?
Spirograph, that's it. It's got like a spirograph design. And obviously with the night time, how it all stands out very nicely with its glow in the dark. Yeah. It gives us a much different pattern. I've also noticed it has a little bit of a purple light down below as well. Not sure if there's any significance behind that, but yes, a very nice, interesting looking glow-in-the-dark small box that I think a lot of people would like.
I like what you did with the lights there when you were making it darker. If you can go back to that point where it sort of just highlights the texture a little bit and scan back and forth across that, you can really show off. This is actually like sort of a carving, like a relief carving. It's not just a pattern on there that glows. There is actually some texture work done to it that at a glance you might not be aware of that, but I'm pretty sure I see it responding to the light. And, as you, well, I don't know, is it become overcast or is it, maybe it's just difficult to show it with the camera position, but I thought I
Yeah,
saw it looking more more of a sharper light, a harder light when you had it
yeah.
lighter in the day.
So when it's bright during the day, so around here, yeah, you can see all of that. But when you turn it to nighttime, the patterns stand out. Yeah, so it's the outlines of what we see during the day, but in a more like drawn, sketchy style of pattern. But regardless, I still think that'll do very nicely still. So, back to daytime. Come on, Will, hurry up. Oh, there we go. Oh, didn't know you're so close to me, Mr. MICRØ. So yeah.
Snuck up on you.
Yeah, you did. I was
Or you snuck
surprised
up
by
on
that.
me, I should
Oh no,
say.
no, I didn't realise. Sorry. So yeah, this is looking to be a fairly interesting investment. I would consider it, gentlemen. It's up to you, but the safest approach would be to do abnormal biodas first and then consider doing a purchase. So congratulations to you, Mr. JJ. It's a very nice looking box, and we are aware that he is considering making a large box next, and with that we're potentially going to see maybe a Blue Lotus deployable collection. Maybe let's see what happens. Maybe he starts making weapons with it. If that does happen, I wouldn't be surprised if this little box here happens to start rising in price as more and more of a proposed collection starts to appear. So yes, Mr. MICRØ, with that, shall we start talking about weapons? So, if I bring this up, Mr. MICRØ, if you could get yourself nice and in position, we have a nice, interesting, quick talk to mention about this skin. This is a Bombshell skin. Got a nice, helpful red tip there for the aim sight. It, of course, is an AK skin with a... that's a familiar looking design, isn't it, Mr. MICRØ? This is TGG skin, and if you aren't aware of the routine, every week, Mr. TGG, that German guy, you might notice him from YouTube and his top picks every week on the Steam community market, he will produce a list of skins. He curates a nice, interesting batch of skins every single week. They are of the quality and the standard that would be at a level where they would be accepted to rust, and it gets put forward to Face Punch every single week, and then the Face Punch devs would then consider whether or not to pick some of the skins from that list, or maybe some skins from a previous list, or maybe they'll pick some early picks instead. So for his help, every 3 to 4 months, TGG gets to have a skin accepted 100% guaranteed, and all the proceeds, I believe, goes to him. So if I could just get this a bit brighter, get a better look at the sheen of the crazy toothy grin that he usually has in his warhead. Mr. MICRØ, was I correct with the words I just said there? Because we've had talk earlier this year about the hypothesis of the 3-week time frame that we assume... Oh, the lights aren't on. I'll sort that out.
I went and I just wanted to double check something I had said before about that blue box, and I went and just pulled up the file for the normal map of that. And I don't know if you wanted to show that on stream, but it actually kind of really does show off the texture of that box more than anything, even just like what we showed during our talk. So
Let's...
I'll DM that to you. Maybe we show it later on or something, but
Yeah.
it's pretty cool to look at.
What I'll do is after this, I'll do a double check on that box, because I don't think I did the best of job looking at it in various different bits, portions of light. And yeah, the lighting on this AK looks a bit weird. When it reflects light, it makes it obviously looks a whole lot brighter. But then when you kind of look at it when no light is reflecting off it, it makes it look a whole lot darker, kind of green, to be honest. Which kind of interesting. Now, this, of course, wasn't made by TGG, was it? It was actually made by Mr. Ideal. His name actually being Ideal. Sorry, I call everybody Mr. Sorry, it's polite. But yeah, another AK skin. Unfortunately, there was like 10 AK-47 skins submitted this week. But because this is 100% guaranteed, well, this is going to be the pick for the week, isn't it? So, quite unfortunate with that in terms of everybody else that wanted to try their best to get an AK skin accepted this week. But you never know. We usually get one accepted every 2 weeks. We had 27 AK skins accepted in all of 2022 this year. That's how insane it's been. We are oversaturated with options. Mr. MICRØ, could you turn more to your right? I want to get a good look. Yeah, that's it. At the shine. Yeah. So, nice tongue, big toothy grin. You got the nice little symbol there, the gold. Looks like it's all been like hammered and dented into place. You can see how the metal kind of looks a little bit tempered over here. Nice and shiny. So, looking pretty good. Mr. MICRØ, any words you might want to say in regards to this AK?
Well, you're right. It definitely looks hammered or sort of formed into the shape, which is, I think the style is derived from like an aviation, type of thing, where
Yes.
if you're making an aircraft skin, which is actually where I think this logo with the teeth kind of bared, I think that has some roots in aviation. At least that's where it's used a lot. But one thing I wanted to kind of speculate about is, you had mentioned, it looks really shiny from some angles and then it looks dark from other angles. I think that is doing its best to respond to the environment. I mean, I don't know how Rust implements the exact mechanics of it, but I can say that the skins follow the spec gloss workflow and not like a metal roughness workflow. And that comes down to the shader and the way it portrays the material in various lightings. But I think that's, that as far as something that's meant to be looking shiny and or I don't think it's meant to be chrome. I think it's meant to be just shiny aluminum. I think it portrays that pretty well. And the fact that it does actually get dark at certain angles or in certain lights, I think that works to your advantage. I think that's a good, maybe I wouldn't call it a stealth mechanic, but it actually, that color change thing looks super cool. And the fact that it does respond to light in a bit of a unique way is, I think that's really what makes a skin have a lot of potential just for, appeal and for cool factor. This definitely has a very dynamic look to it, depending on your angle of the light, and certainly is a very nice job, and it's a lot of attention to detail in the modeling and the sculpting there. And I think it's a really well executed AK skin.
Can you place it on your back?
Sure.
There we are. What a delicious looking back you have. Would you be able to take off your pizza poncho?
Oh,
Yeah. You're not tasty anymore. But yeah, looking pretty good. Stands out quite nicely with that that hoodie. So yeah. Sorry to have interrupted. Did you want to continue?
nope. Well, I'll just wrap it up by saying, I think he did a great job overall on just accomplishing like the theme. Like what I'm trying to say is this is meant to be very aviation inspired, and I think he did a really great job of doing that. All the little pieces are riveted together around the tip, around the front sight post. Um, everywhere you look, there's attention to detail. Did you get a good look up on the front of that, like all around the little detailed parts? Showing it from a distance is nice, but we should also get right up close and appreciate the hard work and the attention to detail that goes into some of these pieces,
You can see
specifically
how it
this.
looks. It's
Yeah.
all been nailed down.
Mm-hmm.
The
All those
little
little rivets.
dents, the rivets, the shine, how it all reflects the light, and then as you
That's
slightly
that
go
that
up.
that aviation, construction is, there's a lot of attention to detail and a lot of fine handwork that goes into building a plane like that, and installing each and every one of those rivets goes, is a very focused and precise job. And Ideal had to do that, when he prepared this skin. So I think, it deserves some recognition and all the little hand craftsmanship that he did
Well,
there. Nice
it,
job, and it's a great looking skin.
It's no surprise it's actually selling quite well. This is the second best skin at the moment in terms of sales, so not too surprised by that. It's a welcome addition to the Bombshell collection, so good job there, Mr. Ideal, and congratulations to TGG for your 100% guaranteed skin. But thank you very much for your top picks every single week. So, yes, Mr. MICRØ, let us now move on to talking about the Tribalized SAR.
Can I put my poncho back on?
Yes, you can. Now,
That was a trick question. I was going to do it anyway.
I know you were. So you happen to have an image of the. Oh, should I show this right now?
I think if you want to, I think that does a great job of just really highlighting, calling attention to the texture on that box.
So yeah, let's just quickly jump back to talking about the Blue Lotus, because Mr. MICRØ is just quickly showing me a UV map. No, it's the bump map.
Yeah, well,
It's a bit all over the place, but that took a lot of effort, I guess. Well,
it's done in software. I mean, you sculpt the 3D model, and then the elements of that get projected onto the 2D UV map, and you end up with a normal map like that, or a bump map, and it really shows off the regions that are sculpted and that are given dimension, that respond to light, that react to the light in the environment. You can't see the bumps on a normal map when you look at it at a glancing angle. It's just the engine doesn't render those, but it works with the light to give it the illusion of having depth and texture. And that's why I was trying to say, like, there's more to this than just an intricate pattern. It's actually a relief sculpture that gives it that three-dimensional presence, and it does in fact respond to light and create little shadows where the grooves have some ambient occlusion there. So it's not just a pattern, it's a texture as well, an actual three-dimensional sculpture job. So I just wanted to point that out. That takes a good bit of effort to accomplish that.
I think we did a better job there giving it justice for what you were trying to talk about. Now that I got a much better idea of what you were trying to talk about, yeah, I think I just did a better thing there. So a little bit extra for the Blue Lotus. So congratulations to you, Mr. JJ, for your first ever skin acceptance, because you're not the only one to get your first ever acceptance. Mr. Kozlov, this is your first ever skin to be accepted as well. Is that correct? Is this his first acceptance?
As a primary creator, yes.
Yes. So we should be aware that there's many people that obviously submit skins every week, but sometimes they have an extra person helping them out. So what should we refer to that? How do we refer to that, Mr. MICRØ?
To be honest, I'm not sure.
Primary and secondary, or
well, I mean the person who submits the skin, who opens the Rust client and submits that into the workshop, I guess gets the credit as the main author. I don't know if we really have an established term for it, but this is, as far as I can tell, Kozlov's first instance of being accepted as the submitter of the skin. So,
all right.
It doesn't make much difference when you boil down to the terminology, but yeah, it's a congratulations to him for his first accepted skin there. Good job.
So, Mr. MICRØ, we can see it on your back. It looks tasty in your back as a topping, but we need to see it in your hands. Do you look nice and intimidating? So, this was actually a two of. Kozlov introduced a black and white version and a green and white and black version. He actually referred to this as radium, didn't he? So this was the Tribalized SAR radium, but obviously Facepunch changed it to just only being the Tribalized SAR. So this is a cool looking design. Is it of a lizard? I think. Like a reptile?
Yeah, it's definitely seems like it's reptilian inspired, I guess you could say. Yeah. I think in his description he said that he did this freehand just as a sketch. So it may not be, meant to portray. I mean, it's like the teeth and the eye overlap, so I don't know what that is, but it's cool.
It is
Definitely.
cool. I would say it looks very cool. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if he turns this into a collection. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the likes of an AK or a Thompson. Sorry about that. Or an LR300. You know, I really do think this could develop into something very interesting. It's also a colour scheme that we don't see much of. The light greens and the sort of darkish yellows. So
It's almost like a pastel kind of color.
yeah, I like how
Yeah.
as it blends with the black, it stands out very nicely, and you kind of see some smudging and whatnot. It does reflect light quite nicely as well. So if you slowly walk back towards me in the light as I hold this camera, yeah, kind of reflects light very nicely. But I noticed the aim sight doesn't really reflect light too much. Now, you might sit there and say, oh, but if it reflects light quite easily, that might be a bad thing. Well, you know, that's down to you. If you don't like what you see, then you don't have to buy it. But if you want to look cool, I think that's actually a pretty cool looking skin. So, Mr. MICRØ.
I'm just looking around in the aim site to just try to visualize different biomes where you might be using this and try to figure out how useful it would be.
Because
Stands out pretty bright.
the light, yeah, very bright colours for an aim sight tend to work the best. If you're a skin creator and you're making or considering different colours for the aim sights, always go for a bright colour, because rarely do we have environments with very bright colours. Of course, we have the snow, but if it's distinct enough, it will still stand out. Think like a nice bright red, or a nice bright green, or a nice bright blue. You know, it should stand out in most environments, hopefully. So yeah, MICRØ, could you put it on your back, please? And let's get a good look. Let's get a good look up close. Get a good look at this pattern. So from what I've noticed, oh, with that red, it actually kind of helps it out a bit. There seems to be like some dripping paint, which I've noticed on the handle. And you can see how it's kind of like scribbled in here. Like, I do get the idea it might be like a sort of pastel-y sort of design. What am I thinking of? Because I don't know fully the reference I'm thinking of, but this is definitely a design from, well, obviously the real world, of course. What tribes was it? I can't remember, but this is cool. Like, I think you did a very good
job. It has
job.
sort of a abstract, but also like tribal inspired, or like you said, like a lizard or reptile inspiration.
Aztec.
Is that like
I think you're right. I think you're right. Mayan or Aztec, that's what I was trying to think of. I'm kind of reminded of like the very freaky looking snakes and whatnot that they draw. I think that's what it is. I think that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's what is it. Thank you, Ye Yimp. That's actually a good point. Yeah.
Ye Yimp.
Ye Yimp. That is a funny name. Eagle Claw looks a little Slavic. Well, the skin creator might be Slavic, you know. Could just be how they've designed it. I guess it's a nice amalgamation of a very cool idea, so wouldn't be surprised if we potentially see more of this in the future. Mr. MICRØ, shall we move on to talking about the prototype saw? Yeah. What's he on about? I'm on about this. So, how long ago was it when we had the Lumberjack DLC? It's good 2-3 months ago now, wasn't it? That was Halloween time. It was October. Am I correct? The beginning of October, Mr. MICRØ. We got the Lumberjack hazmat suit and the Lumberjack tools. They had a very cool design to them. They were nice, they were unique, and, well, it seems like Mr. Dirk Schneider has decided to make a very similar design to those tools. We got, in my hand, a salvage sword, which is supposed to look like a salvage sword. What I do notice is we got a nice bit of transparency there. Something that a lot of people have tried in the past with swords, but seems like this is the new recent addition. So we've seen designs in terms of the Chris sword to make it as if it was all nice and curly, and then we had the katana sword, which was made it had parts of it look. It's transparency. They haven't cut away the mesh. They've just made it transparent. So with different designs of swords recently, we're starting to see some more creative ideas and whatnot. But then we start talking about how good are salvaged sword skins at the moment, because this year we've had 3. Don't you dare, or I'm going to cut your pizza poncho and I'm going to eat it in front. Okay, so let's just get a good look at the salvage. Let's just get a good look at this prototype saw. Mr. Dark Schneider, congratulations. This year you got your first ever skin accepted. Initially it was a charitable rust skin, and then you had a bandana. And I do believe this is your second skin to be accepted. So congratulations to you. And cool design that we have here. Now what I've immediately noticed is you can see through it if you stand in front of it. But yeah. This year we've had 3 salvage sword skins after like a 2-year drought, and this isn't actually a positive thing, because the katana sword and the Chris sword, they're both in the negative. Right now, post-Christmas time, it is the best time to sell your skins. But even then, those 2 salvage sword skins are doing badly. I do believe they're like 25% negative at the moment. So if you're going to sit there and say, Hedge, do you reckon this sword, this salvage sword skin is probably going to be a good idea to put my money towards, potentially make a good profit? Probably not. If the sales aren't too insane, it should be alright. But the Chris sword, that only had 8,500 sales, and that's still struggling. I guess it's more of a case of the demand to use the salvage sword itself. So, Mr. MICRØ, think during your everyday Rust gameplay, how often are you even using... Don't you dare throw it again. Don't. How often are you using a salvage sword, Mr. MICRØ?
Well,
it's just for barrels, I would have thought. Eco rating, yes.
It's good for eco rating. It's good for hitting barrels, and that's mostly about it.
Yeah. Like you can't. Yeah, go on. Sorry.
I think they if you're gonna be using them for eco rating, chances are you're crafting them. So if you're gonna craft them, you might as well craft a cool one.
Yeah, exactly that.
And if you're, I actually don't do this personally, but I would imagine people make these for the purpose of going out and hitting barrels. So why not? I don't know. I mean, I think it's great to see some skins for items that we don't see a lot of skins for. So on account of it just being something out of the ordinary, not just another AK, not just another sheet metal door.
Yep.
And don't get me wrong, I love seeing cool AKs. I love seeing cool sheet metal doors. I think we should have a lot of them. But it is nice to see something fresh. And the fact that he did this in a style that complements the Tier 2 tool set that we saw with the DLC, well, that's super cool.
He's not the only one that tried this, though. We saw plenty of hammer designs. We saw, I think someone tried to do a lumberjack weapon collection as well, as in guns and whatnot, but didn't really take off. So this is the first, I guess, I don't want to say imitator, but like, this happens a lot. When we have a significant update that's about to come out, skin creators will try and make something in reference to it. So
we're encouraged to.
Yeah.
I think that's embraced by Face Punch. So
but it's weird how this is the first lumberjack skin to be accepted, and it's been over 2 months. So actually, it's almost 3 months, I believe. Yeah. So yep, congratulations to you, Mr. Dark Schneider. But
should we point out that this skin was submitted like an actual month ago?
Yes, but that was because
this is a pretty late pick.
But that was because we did have 2 weeks of Christmas early skins. We, as I was referencing earlier with our with your hypothesis, we have the 3-week time frame. Usually when we have holidays that happen in between, because we would only have holiday-specific skins during those holidays, submissions kind of get paused. So if some submissions happen just before... I thought you threw it at me. If submissions happen just before a holiday event, usually what we will see is the submissions before being paused, and then they potentially get accepted maybe 1 or 2 or 3 weeks after the event happens as well. So this isn't too much of a surprise. This actually was to be expected. So congratulations to you, Mr. Dark Schneider, once more, Mr. MICRØ. Shall we now start discussing the clothing that you're wearing? So you can throw away that saw, and I should have guessed. All right, so Mr. MICRØ, strike a pose, look extra tasty. What toppings do you have on today with that ever so lovely looking pizza bandana and poncho, which we actually showed off last week, didn't we? Because it was a continuation that we saw in the workshop. And I'm not surprised it was accepted, because every now and then, you know, Face Punch will allow a little bit of Goofy, and this is probably one of the best designed pieces of Goofy that I've ever seen. It looks so tasty. Oh, yes. So, Mr. Jimmick has continued his pizzeria furnace with pizza skins. It turns out he's now got the pizza collection, and he does plan to make some more pizza skins in the future. I've asked this to many people. If you could decide what pizza skins you might want to make next, like, what would you like to see? What could you think that would be a great idea for a pizza skin? Because I was surprised to even see this being made, but he's been very clever with it. Like, you see all the bite marks on the pizza for the poncho and whatnot, and then you get the crust all wrapped around for the bandana flap. But yeah, this is the pizza bandana and the poncho. We showed it off last week, and lo and behold, it was accepted. So congratulations to you, Mr. Jimmick. Mr. MICRØ, are you happy with what you're wearing?
I like it.
Does it smell good?
What do you think? It's pepperoni and pizza. There's some mushrooms and some olives on there too, but yeah, it's delicious.
Should you give us a nice little twirl? Yeah.
I think he did a great job matching like the gloss of a nice sort of oily, not oily, but anytime you bake the cheese and pepperoni, you're gonna get, you know, a little sheen of, you know, oil and grease on there. He did a good job with that. A couple little bites out of it here and there, and I don't know why, but my favorite part is the crust on the bandana.
Yeah, that's just beautiful. That's perfect. Like, you normally have that little flap normally, but it just turned it into a crust, and that's just perfect. So yeah, he made the best of what he had, and I'm just very interested to see what we potentially might see next from him. Very creative ideas. Very good job. Mr. MICRØ, any final words, or do you want to finish off eating that pizza? Because
the only thing I could say is, like, even with the motion of my player model, you could see it sort of distorting and stretching a little bit.
Yes.
And it just makes me feel like it's cheese stretching out, and all like that mozzarella cheese all getting nice and melty and stringy and delicious.
Right, so should you take that off and we'll discuss the other skins that you're wearing? Why yes, what do we have here, gentlemen? What do we see? It's the JPEG hoodie and pants. Now, we actually showed this off quite some time back, didn't we? This was submitted quite a long time ago. We're talking... Cool, how far back are we talking, Mr. MICRØ? The very beginning of December. So this is 3-4 weeks ago? It's definitely a late pick, but of course Christmas was in the way. Mr. GBG, Mr. Trigger, they have returned. They tried their best to get the JPEG Tier 3 being accepted back in September. That wasn't successful, how very unfortunate. And they decided to stick with weapons and tried. They were successful with some deplorables. We had a couple JPEG doors being accepted. But one thing I noticed happening quite a lot on the workshop was a lot of people trying their best to try and get their own cel-shaded hoodie and pants being accepted and whatnot. And I was like, GBG, Trigger, you've got to make hoodie and pants now before it's too late. Well, they did, and after a while, what do we see right in front of us? The JPEG hoodie and pants. So, this is the second core piece in the JPEG collection. With the appearance of this, the Tier 2 did go up in price very nicely. The kilt went up to around $3, and the other two pieces of the Tier 2 went up very nicely. I think the vest is selling for like $4 at the moment. So, as I've mentioned in my Rust Economy 101 video, Speculation and Anticipation, when we see new core pieces appearing, the pre-existing core pieces go up in price a lot more. And all that we have left now is to anticipate the arrival of a tier 3, a JPEG tier 3 version 2 being submitted maybe next week or the week after that, or maybe, at some other point in the near future. But I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen, because that's the final piece for the full complete set. We have the hoodie, the pants, we have the kilt, now we just need the tier 3. You might want to run around with the other pieces of tier 2, but you want to run around with the face mask and chest plate, surely. Mr. MICRØ, any words?
Nope. I think it looks cool.
There's not really much to say. It's more of a gimmick rather than like super colourful, isn't it?
Yeah, it's definitely got that appeal from the meme side. I guess I could put on. Do I have a pair of normal hoodie pants? I got them in this box here, I think.
Yeah. You can quickly go back and forth,
because we
had this whole thing with low poly. Low poly managed to become a full collection, and I fully expect JPEG to. Yeah, so that's a nice instant transition. You can see it for yourself. A little bit of mixing and matching. Yeah, it's more of a gimmick. So if you like what you see, please consider buying it. But in terms of finances, do you want to jump in and buy these? Let's talk about that real quickly. Do you remember when we had the Skull Killer appear earlier this year? That eventually became a full collection, didn't it? But halfway through, much like with the JPEG, we had the hoodie and the pants. And the hoodie and the pants sold much more in comparison to the original pieces that appeared. So for Skull Killer, that was the face mask and the chest plate. Now, the hoodie and the pants had like 5,000 more sales compared to the first two core pieces, and that led to them struggling. That led to them going down in price and going in the negative, because there's far too many bought in excess in comparison to the other core pieces. This is what we're potentially seeing with JPEG hoodie and pants, because if I recall, the JPEG kilt had it had like just barely over 11,000 sales. Those pants already have 8,000 sales after 2 days. So give it another few more days. I wouldn't be surprised if these hoodie and pants probably have between 13,000 to 15,000 sales each. That is my estimate, and that could potentially be a problem. But if we do end up getting the tier 3, regardless, these will bounce up in price. The reactionary nature of the Rust economy will happen, and these two will go up in price, much like the kilt and the other pieces of JPEG. So that is that. That is all of the skins of the week, Mr. MICRØ. Should we start discussing the skin to... I've lost my tongue. Should we discuss talking about... Yep, shut up. Would you like to talk about the skin continuations that we've seen on the workshop? So, shall we get started? Shall we talk about this tempered large box that I see right here? Gentlemen, MICRØ Frito, he's done it again. He's decided it's a great time to get a tempered deployable accepted. So, if you recall, MICRØ Frito is making both Frog Cosplay and Tempered Collection. So they're kind of competing with each other, but with the expected huge increase of players arriving for January and February, I'm not at all surprised that MICRØ decided now is a good time to make this large box. So if you recall, with the two recent tempered skins, the garage door and the sheet metal door, they sold quite a lot, and they were selling for a higher price. Sheet metal door was selling for $4, and I believe the garage door was also selling for around $5. Yet they sold a lot still, and right now, what prices are they selling for? A whole lot more. So I wouldn't be surprised, based on the factors of next week is a wipe day, the first wipe day for 2023. People still aren't really back to school, they aren't fully back to work properly. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of people playing for next week's wipe day. And I reckon with a lot more people playing, which Facepunch would be anticipating, they're going to be releasing a real big batch of interesting skins for next week. This being one of them. This is going to be selling at a higher price. It very likely will sell a lot, and that's definitely very appealing for both the skin creator and Facepunch. Getting a lot of sales for a nice expensive skin. So Mr. MICRØ, I see you're doing your lighting thing, so if I stand still, you can kind of move around and get the reflections of lights. If I go a little bit closer, you can see that. how the different panels, I guess you could say, the different panels on the texture reflects light differently. Yes, that looks really cool. That. So yeah, the transition from weapons, to armor to deployables has been pretty successful for Tempered. Milio, you're doing a very good job. Mr. MICRØ, I think a bear's nearby. He wants to take my Tempered large box. Can you destroy him? So, yeah, gentlemen, keep an eye out for this. This definitely looks like it has a very good chance of being accepted. But it does conflict with Frog Cosplay. Are we going to have Frog Cosplay, or are we going to have Tempered deployables? This is something that you have to be aware of for the next few weeks, because this could potentially impact the likelihood of seeing Frog Cosplay armor being accepted, for example. I don't think we can have a skin creator have a skin accepted every single week. I'm not sure if that's a rule, MICRØ, but I guess it would look a bit unfair, wouldn't it? Yeah, so do be prepared for something like this. It's a very cool looking skin, of course, tempered, very in demand. Well, not as in demand in comparison to likes of Blackout and whatnot, but it's been a very vintage collection that's been around since 2016, and people do like it, people do appreciate it, and the skins sell very well, especially during post-Christmas time. All of the tempered skins have gone up in price, so this is something that you might want to keep an eye out for. So keep an eye out. Wouldn't be surprised if this is accepted for next week. Any opinions, Mr. MICRØ, for this lovely looking box? Wow.
It's pretty nice. He definitely took that theme and slapped it on a large wood box, and I don't mean that like he did it carelessly. I mean he applied it very nicely, and it's a well done job. Good job.
All good, all good. Right then. So the next deployable that we're going to talk about, Neom. Over to here. What do I see? Wild humans? What? How? No, it's wild animals. Yes. Gentlemen, in front of me right here, I have the... Oh. What are you doing? It didn't say pizza. Get out of here. Right, so we have the Wild Animals double sheet metal door. And it doesn't have the transparency. So, yeah. Looks like it was a one and done thing for the wooden door. I guess that's just to help improve chances of potentially being accepted. I guess he didn't want to push his luck. So this is made by Mr. Mishka. MICRØ, what do you reckon in regards to that? Because we did see a charitable Rust skin that had transparent windows and whatnot, but I guess with skin creators, you got to kind of consider maybe I don't want to push my luck or something. I didn't prepare you for this question, but it's like I don't think there really is an answer. I guess it's a bit.
It could just boil down to limitations of the skin itself. If you really want to, what we could do is do a comparison with the charitable Rust skin that has the transparency. So you can envision what it might look like if that was implemented. So you can do a bit of a transparent mesh, but there were challenges with that skin, with the wooden one that had transparency. When that was released, it had, if you recall, you did that little segment on Potato Power, where if you switch your computer to your Rust client, the graphics level 0, it would render as just like a completely open spot in the door with no mesh at all. And the change they made was to make it so it rendered as open instead of just completely opaque, which is what it was doing at first. So I haven't looked at the charitable Rust door with low graphics, but it stands to reason that maybe that does some funny things, or he couldn't achieve the specific grill size or aperture size that he wanted to give it a nice clean look. Although this door turned out pretty well on, I mean, I'm on graphics level 6, so
Same.
I don't see any issues with the mesh over here. Maybe he could have done it quite easily. But like you said, maybe it was done this way just to improve its chances, because that would be a really huge opening, and I'm a bit skeptical that they would go for that big of a window in there that's not even you can't even shoot through.
Would you like to turn the lights off and use your miner's hat to get a good look at the reflection of light for this door?
Yeah, let me see how that looks.
Then, with the power of light, his mining powers help us look at the reflections, and you can get a much better look at those scratch marks and whatnot. How the lighting really brings it out and whatnot. Oh yeah, that does look better. Oh yeah, that looks cool. So sheet metal door skins haven't been super successful recently. We've only had 3 accepted all of this year, and it only happened fairly recently, didn't it? But they're very reliable investments, and wild animals potentially might become a collection. Wooden door, we've only had that accepted so far, and literally just a week ago we had the armor door, didn't we? But it does look like the trend of the invisible, like, see-through part, the translucent, it doesn't look like it's continuing. But what Mr. Metatron just said there earlier, isn't there 2 versions? Can we quickly confirm that, Mr. MICRØ? Is there only 1 version, or is there potentially a second version?
Let me pull it up right now.
And,
I'm on the workshop page for MICRØ's single door, and yes, there is a closed and open version.
Oh,
yeah, maybe we should show that one too.
Yeah, we'll bring that in right now. Azriel, you're correct. Where's the armored double doors? We literally had an armored door buff, and they haven't even accepted a double armored door yet. What's going on? They're great investments as well. Double doors tend to be the best. So, yep, we'll just destroy charity and
I don't know if we missed that or what. But thanks to Mr. Metatron, we could show that off. I was for some reason totally skipped that one. I was unaware. Maybe he posted this or had it hidden and didn't make it public.
I'm afraid of the
later?
outside world, Mr.
Sure.
MICRØ. I don't want to visit
great.
it.
No, that looks really good. If this got in, I mean, certainly there's no holdups there in terms of quality that I could see.
It's just,
I think that looks fantastic.
Would you instantly assume it's paid to win? Like,
yeah. Well, that's a pretty
yes.
OP arrangement there.
Look through the door. There's a strange looking pizza person out there. What does he want from me? Go away. I don't have any toppings to spare you. Go away. There's no more cheese. Right, so do you know what we need to do? Potato settings. So just for you, the power of the potato settings. Where are we? Graphics. Let's go all the way down to 0. Potato power. Come on.
You just click the end of the slider.
Yeah, it takes a while. And yes. It's Potato power has granted me the ability to see through doors. Yeah, that's pay to win. So that is exactly the same as the wooden door. Is
pay to win, or is it pay to run at graphics level 0 and have like literally might as well take off your glasses kind of look to it?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm not extremely hype on running around with my graphics set like that. I mean, maybe it lets me see through the door, but I wouldn't count on that being a large portion of the players.
Well,
I think they'd want to be running
MICRØ, you can put it to like graphics quality 3, and yeah, actually no, it's still good at 3. What was it? Was it 2 or 1? I think it was 2, where it kind of just ends up like random blotches. So yeah, that's random blotches for 1 right there. And if you go 2, I think it's when it's 2 when it starts to be random. Yeah, it's 3. Where it frees the last quality where it still kind of connects to each other. So, yep, regardless, it's still helpful. You can still see through it. That is going to be very helpful if it gets accepted. But I kind of...
Everybody in chat, type what graphics setting you use. What number? 0 through 6.
Yeah,
I want to see the responses.
What graphic settings do you use? What graphic settings do you like to use? Well, there you go. Quite a lot of them have it at low. There you are, yeah, so something to keep an eye out for. But you know what, they could just sell this for $9.99. The other one did, that sold a lot, didn't it? But that was for charity.
It looks good. I don't know if you'd squeeze $10 out of me for that, but it looks good.
Oh, you'd buy it.
Well, I mean, I have the charitable rust one, so I can always just use that. But I mean, I gotta say, I like the look of this door. And if you remember last week, we talked about the challenges that we faced as skin makers when it comes to sheet metal doors specifically. They don't have, they have a repeated texture on both sides. So whatever appears on the front appears on the back. that goes for single and double sheet metal doors. So when you make that texture, it has to work for both sides. And a lot of times, one of the hang-ups is having a text that doesn't properly mirror in the case of the single door. And if you think about the designs that we've seen so far from this set, they've had like wild animals on one side and wild humans on the other side, as the text, you know, would appear differently for a viewer on either side of the door. But here, because there's the same textures repeated on both sides, it has to have that horizontal repetition, or I don't know how else to put it. Like your design has to span the entirety of the whole face of the door, because it's going to get fully reused on the other side. So he had to put both phrases on the same side of the door. So I don't know. Can you see yourself buying it? If it had the transparent window, I think a lot of people would buy it regardless.
I think it would be a very nice present
itself.
for the very beginning of 2023. Remember what I said, Mr. MICRØ? As I climb up here and look down at you, I fully expect next week's roster rotation to be a big one. I reckon we're going to be seeing some very interesting skins being accepted, and I think Face Punch are definitely going to try their best to make some great money, because last year, in the exact same position, I believe the average player count was around 120,000, and then for January 2022, 150,000. That was the peaks. If I go back, I believe the average player count was 80,000 for December 2021, and then for January 2022 it was 90,000. So there was an uptick of people playing and whatnot. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Right this very minute, there's about 96K online.
So yeah, we've seen...
I have a peak of 96.8. No, 90. Yeah, just shy of 97,000 players today.
All good. Right, Mr. MICRØ, I think we've talked about this enough. Shall we start discussing some weapon skins? Do you want to get yourself nice and prepared? Let's bring this up. Let's get this all nice and arranged. Sorry about this, chat. So we've got some AKs to show off, because this week we had the Bombshell AK. So we got Banger, we got the SAP. Where's the SAP? Oh, there it is. It's got a silly picture. Sorry, I got completely confused there. I was like, where is it? I can't seem to find it. I don't seem to have an M249. Have I gone mad? Yes, I have. I don't have it. Is it in here? Do you have a spare M249, Mr. MICRØ? I'll if you could.
Which one are you looking for?
Oh no, it's the LR300. Sorry, I've gone crazy, because the original Chroma Flair was an M249. I'm thinking of so many things at once. I just got super confused there, and I completely brain farted. So I've given you a bit of a talk already. Yeah. Let's get cracking. Let's start discussing the skin continuations of the week for weapons. So, as we discussed, this week we had the 100% guaranteed Bombshell AK-47 being accepted. So what was in contention was this Banger AK. Banger collection very recently has been quite successful for Mr. Michael. Michael, you've been very successful in having your Banger skins being accepted ever since you came back to it. I believe we've had 3-4 skins accepted since you've started making more skins for the collection. He made this earlier this week, but unlucky. This week's was a Bombshell skin, so he might have to wait until maybe next week or the week after. We do see a lot of AK skins, don't we? And on average, we do see a new AK-47 skin every 2 weeks or so. So, yeah, 27 AK-47 skins accepted in all of 2022. It's ridiculous. And that is half the reason why they never really go up in price that much. But he sticks to his nice design, where you have all the wacky colours, the goofy cartoon, like onomatopoeia, all the nice fun bits. You got some skulls, you got the finger flicking a bullet, you got the bang, you got some hearts, you got a whole bunch of things. It's a fun little creation, and Michael, you're doing a good job so far. Keep up the good work. MICRØ, if you could decide on a new weapon to get banger, I've said this completely silly. If you could think of a banger skin that hasn't been made just yet, what would you consider? What would you like to see?
Miner's hat.
I was going to say that. I knew you were going to say that. When was the last miner's hat skin? Cool, you're talking like 2017. So, Michael, we've said it. You need to go make a banger miner's hat. He's definitely not biased. He's definitely not biased. So, yeah. This is very nice, but of course it is an AK. And you know how I feel about AK skins. I would very much like to see AK skins become a rarer sight to see. They should be like a prestigious thing that only gets maybe one accepted every month. And that could help in terms of making the other AK skins a bit more in demand, a bit more valuable. Because if we have so many options for an AK skin, why would you want the new ones? Or at the very least, why would you want to be loyal to an AK skin that's literally just come out when there's probably going to be a new interesting one about 2 weeks later in another Rust or rotation? So, good stuff there, Mr. Michael, Mr. MICRØ. Any other words you might want to say before we move on to the next weapon?
Nope. I mean, all of these skins have had a pretty consistent look and feel within the theme. I think they're all pretty unique. It's not just the same set of images just slapped on there. And you could tell it's got continuity from the author to put some care into lining up the design elements that are consistent in a new way that complements the weapon shape and, carries out a nice clean design there. And he did a good job of that. He filled a lot of the space with some extra little shapes and symbols, and you got a nice bright colored aim sight on there. So it definitely works with the rest of the set. And
would you like to place it on your back?
Yeah. I was going to comment just about, the likelihood of seeing another AK in the near future on account of, seeing TGGs this week. But, with the rate of acceptance of AKs, as you pointed out, 27 this year, well, if we had, if we split the week or the my time units are broken. If we split the year up into weeks, there's 52. Half of that is 26.
Yeah.
So if we had 26 skins, that would be literally an average of one every other week. But we had 27, so we're actually above that. And that's not. I may please don't read into the tone of my voice there. It's only humorous because it's like the example we keep making, but it's not a complaint from me. Like, AKs are cool, and to see fresh variations there, is always a great thing. So I'm looking forward to seeing this one too. I mean, we see so many good ones. Do you want to set your weather to clear? Does that change anything for you? I don't know if you've got a lot of snowy conditions there, but
well, okay then.
That's up to you. I don't know.
Okay, what was it?
Weather.load space clear.
Yep. Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. Let's get a good look at that. It stands out nicely. Sorry about that, MICRØ. I didn't actually notice.
No, it's good. The winter fits the theme of the year, fits the season we're in, but it's good to shine some good light on some of these things. Maybe that's why you weren't getting the same effect on the Lotus Box earlier.
Probably.
That I was getting.
But yeah. Alright then, MICRØ. Let's move on to the next weapon. We have a continuation of the Obsidian collection. So this is made by Neville112. I think he still has the weird glow in the dark that I just want to quickly double check. Do you remember? Right. Can you see that? So do you remember that thing, that talking point we had, where some of these edges kind of slightly glowed? And I
don't think this has that.
I don't think it has that. No. Because we had a bit of a fuss talking about how, was it the Thompson or something? We were looking... Does it help at night time? But it doesn't look like this has any noticeable glow in the dark. portions on the texture. So what I was talking about is before we've noticed some ever so slight glow in the dark for the ripples that you see on this texture. Cool design, I should say, but it doesn't look like that's carrying on anymore. Maybe
This
some
doesn't.
people...
This does not have an emissive map,
No.
so there is
Okay.
definitely no emission with this skin.
But yeah, get a good look at the light in there. You can see how it all like stands out, so much like what Obsidian would do in real life. It's all like ripply and I don't want to say like glass, but what's a better word for that, do you reckon? I don't want to say blotchy, but yeah, he's definitely got a good idea of what Obsidian should be looking like. And as I bring it to night time, slowly pan around. Could you turn to your left, Mr. MICRØ? Your left. And we get a good look at that as the light reflects upon it. It stands out a lot nicer, showing off the effect of what it is. Yes. A nice chunk of obsidian. So, good stuff. Haven't seen a SAP skin accepted for a while, have we? I think the last one was the Banger SAP. So, I believe that was a fair few weeks ago. Maybe we'll see another one. Let's see. So, best of luck to you, Mr. Neville, Mr. MICRØ. Could you put it on your hip? With a big iron on his hip. Right, cool. Let's get a good look over here. Looking pretty good. Yep. And then we'll pan out, take a look at you. Looking pretty good there, Mr. MICRØ. Right then, shall we move on to the next weapon, Mr. MICRØ, unless you have something you want to talk about in regards to this SAP?
Nope. I'll say that he did a nice job with the texturing here. You know, it fits the rest of the theme. But I don't have a lot else to say about it. I mean, it's got a pretty decent sight on it. I mean, you wouldn't think it would be all that amazing with just being plain black, but it's got enough gloss to it that the light picks up on it in good ways, and yeah.
Yeah, I do notice that. Oh,
Pretty decent little gun.
that is helpful. Right.
It does respond to the light quite a bit as you work it around in the sun or under the stage lights or whatever. So, you know, if you're into something that has that dimension to it, you know, maybe if this gets accepted, maybe we can have something with a lot of cool abstract texture on it.
No worries there, Mr. MICRØ.
Kind of fits the same way with the tempered box. You know, it's got these different facets on it that
how it reflects the light.
Yeah, in just sort of a slightly non-planar kind of way. I don't know how else to put it, but it's
all good, bud. No worries. Now I'm going to move on to talking about the Chroma Flair LR300. So I got confused. Because I had to remember what this was a skin continuation of. So first of all, this is made by Alpha, and I believe it was a good year or so ago he made a Chroma Flair M249, but it was only referred to as the Chroma Flair. So yeah, this is now turning into a collection. So he's decided, you know what, I'm gonna probably put this texture in a whole bunch of other skins. So looks like we've returned to it and are now potentially going to see maybe a new LR300 on the horizon. Gentlemen, do you like this colour pattern? Do you like what you see? Is it something you'd like to consider? Is it something you'd want? So I'll hop over to here, take a good look at Mr. MICRØ, get a good look at this gun. Oh wow. Oh, that does stand out quite nicely, doesn't it? It's got a nice turquoisey, strange purple sort of colour to it. And then as you slowly look a little bit closer, you can see the patterns, how the purple is actually all coloured patterns and whatnot. The gold is all glittery. There's more patterns on the top of the gun. It starts to become a bit of a darker green. Looking pretty good. Yeah. Looking really nice. I like the colour scheme to this. But yeah, this is actually a fairly old skin. So the M249, when specifically did that come out? It was like 2 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's from 2019, May of 2019.
Technically, I guess you could say 4 years ago. Oh, aren't we old? I'm surprised I even remembered that. But yeah, this is a pretty interesting looking gun, don't you think? And would you like to see that potentially being accepted? Remember, especially of all these skins that were shown off right now for the workshop continuations. There you are. There it is. It's a bit of a design, there's a bit, there's been a bit of an overhaul for the design, so get a good look at that. You can sort of see the turquoisey colours have remained, but the flames have all turned to gold. So, yeah. Maybe it's a case of the skin creator has become more confident in his texturing skills and he wanted to do a bit of a revamp. That could probably be the answer. But regardless, I think it looks cool. So back to the LR300 once again, Mr. MICRØ. Let's get a good look at this at the night time. And wow, that stands out a whole lot better. So keep moving slightly left and right because you get to see how the light reflects on that. That looks really cool. That looks really cool. Is it green or is it purple? Is it green or is it purple? Is it green or is it purple? Is it green? Would you like to put it on your back, Mr. MICRØ? What? Yeah, just throw that on the floor, why don't you? Yes. What is this effect? I'm sorry to ask. I should have asked you beforehand about this, but do you know what this effect is? Where
What, the color changing kind of thing?
because I was going to say holographic.
Yeah, it's I guess holographic or like chameleon is kind of the term people might use. It's done with a different colored, like a gloss layer, spec gloss. It's in the spec gloss map.
And as you look over here, it starts to become a darker green. That looks cool. I like that.
It does look cool.
It does, yeah. I think that's going to get accepted. I think that could easily be a collection that we see in the future. So, good job there, Mr. Alpha. Let's see if that gets accepted.
Careful about making predictions for what's going to get accepted, because we got like so many good skins in the workshop that I really almost feel sympathy for Helk having to pick from this list, because there's not enough slots in the store to accept like all of the cool skins that we see. It's just there's so many. So
add more slots.
It's too bad. Well, yeah, and then you have to worry about how that works into balancing the economy.
True, that is true. If you keep having too much of something, that also causes problems. So, yeah, it is a bit awkward, isn't it? All right, so MICRØ, shall we move on to the next weapon? Let's talk about the Cybercode SAR. So, again, Mr. Eros, back with it with another Cybercode skin. He's been fairly successful with this skin collection, and could we potentially see this being the next SAR? So, this is the Cybercode SAR, as I said. Get a good look at the green aim sight. Now, that doesn't really stand out that well, does it? Compared to the gun, not so much. It's also very dark green. In grassy areas, foresty areas, probably not going to help you out as much. Now, SAR skins themselves are a bit of a problem because we have seen a lot of them recently. Mr. MICRØ, whip it out. Show me what you got. Do you have?
Hey, ooh, you just got a big raid.
Oh, I just got raided. Thank you very much, Mr. Diggy. I'm showing off all the new skins that could potentially be accepted maybe next week or the week after. All of the skins that we're currently looking at are skin continuations that were submitted in the past week. So, Mr. MICRØ, if you could bring out the Cybercode semi-automatic rifle, we can show our new people here. Oh yeah, get a good look at this. Do you like the Matrix? Do you like what you see? So this hasn't been accepted just yet, guys. This right here is something that potentially could be accepted maybe next week or the week after that or the week after that, based on what we've seen in the past. So how about we make it nighttime? Yeah, and then you can see the numbers a whole lot better, can't you? Get a good look at the design. So yeah, slowly pan it around. Want to be nice and slow. Thank you once again, Mr. Diggy. I appreciate that. How are you doing today, good sir? Did you just finish playing a bunch of... Did you do a whole bunch of raiding? Have you been good? Oh my, Asriel just gifted 60 subs.
Whoa! Holy cow!
I'm trying to do a video here. That was on purpose.
And you have 69 viewers right now. That's really nice.
Perfect. That was great to bring up, Mr. MICRØ.
What could be better? I mean, life is good, isn't it?
Life is pretty good. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Thank you for the raid, and thank you for the gifted subs, and thank you for the follow. Everything's pretty good for the final Saturday Skin Showcase of 2022. So I would clap as well. So yeah, Mr. MICRØ, feeling confident with this new SAR skin, maybe. Mr. Eros has been quite successful this year. Quite literally at the very end of this year as well, with his El Diablo and his Cybercode collection, so... Yeah. Sorry, I'm just a bit... 300 subs before the new year? I'd have to double check. Mr. MICRØ, if you could just continue looking there real quickly. If I type sub, how many does it come up with? I have 210, Asriel, I'm sorry to say. I have 210 subscribers. So, back over to here, Mr. MICRØ. Do you have any nice opinions that you might want to sit here and say in regards to what you're holding, or anything else?
I think it's cool. I think he gave it that, like you call it, the Matrix kind of feel. We've seen some other skins with sort of like a cyber or like futuristic kind of like hacker kind of vibe to them, and I think it's a cool look and feel. You know, I think the art style is cool. It certainly has like a, you know, a cool feel to it. You know, I don't know I don't know what else to say, but I don't know if it belongs in Rust. I'm not trying to talk negative about it, but when we get a lot of designs that stand out and look bright, I could see why they get accepted. This is something with a little more toned down, muted colors, but it's also sort of a memey skin. I could see that having potential. I don't know what I'm really trying to say. I mean,
it's all right, bud.
it's no, I'm trying to say that it's sort of a balance in between the really flashy standout skins. Like we showed Chroma Flair. Like that's about as flashy and as bright as you could make a skin, and that's cool. And then you could talk about some skins that have more of like a not realistic, but a more down to earth kind of salvaged look and feel, like they belong, you know, truly belong in the game. I think this treads a line in between there. Is really the point I'm trying to get at. It's like it's got a little bit of style and flair to it, but it's also subdued and kind of toned down. So
well, with that brings up a good point, because I feel like we have more of a, I would say, grounded but maybe more realistic design with the Gothic Warlord. So Mr. Novarom has returned with his collection. The Gothic Warlord collection now has a SAR. I can't speak. I should take a bit of water. It's a Gothic Warlord semi-automatic rifle with a helpful red tip on the aim sights to help you out in most environments. It's got a very nice sculpted design. Is that carved or sculpted? No, it's carved, isn't it?
Well,
it's metallic.
I mean, it depends on the context where you're talking about it. I mean, I don't know if you would ever really carve metal.
Yeah, I got that completely wrong. It's it would be a mold. That's what it would be.
Yeah, maybe, or just machined or something. I mean, but I mean, if you're talking about the actual skin itself or the 3D model, you would call it probably sculpting. So it's not wrong in that respect.
Nope.
I would say it's correct in that respect. So yeah, it's a pretty cool sculpture job. I mean, he's got a good texture on there for the.
I just like the wood. How he's kind of made it
metal work, and for the wood itself, it's like it's got a lot of dimension, wear and tear, stress, and even the metallic parts have a nice little scratch and bump map to them. So it's got all the elements of a cool skin. It's even got some like reflective portions on that skull motif. So yeah,
and it's not super. It's not exactly super flashy. Like the point I was trying to make is, you could probably envision this like actually being made on this island, this treacherous island, full of danger. You need something. You need to make something to keep yourself nice and protected. And well, of course, you're going to add a skull to it because you've got to look cool. But yeah, this is a difference in contrast to the likes of the Cybercode SAR, because this isn't really reference anything. It's condensed to its own self. Like this is just a design that whoever made this weapon made themselves. So do you get what that I'm saying there? It's not like reference anything. It's its own thing, and I think that's what a lot of people do like with their Rust skins. And yeah, that's how it looks when you reflect against the light. Alright, I will check I'll sort out. Yeah, I see some of you are saying some things. Once again, Mr. Azriel, thank you very much for the gifted subs, and once again, Diggy, thank you for the raid. MICRØ, can you put the SAR on your back if you can, please?
Oh, okay.
And I don't think we did the cybercode SAR on your back either, so we'll sort that out just afterwards. So yes, there is the SAR on your back, looking very nice. You could probably bend down and the light would reflect. So if you can see it reflecting on the light there, and as you move backwards a bit, yep, perfect. You can see how it reflects all the light. So you did a good job here, Novarom. You got your first skins being accepted earlier this year, and you've been trying your best to get more skins being accepted. I wouldn't say no to that. That looks cool. I think you did a very good job there. Mr. MICRØ, could you also put the cybercode SAR on your back as well? Because I don't think there we are. Perfect. Now that one isn't super clear compared to the other one, because this doesn't have any shine to it really, does it? Maybe a little bit, but yeah. Big difference. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it definitely looks cool. I will. I mean, I can't take that away from it.
Yep, that's all good. Right, so Mr. MICRØ, that's not the only SAR. We've got another one. We've got loads of them.
SAR heavy week.
It is
in the
very.
workshop.
I'm very sore with SARs. We have a continuation of the Dead Souls collection. We have the Dead Souls semi-automatic rifle in my hands. I aim down. Oh, Santa! Where is he? So anyway,
Did you comment at all on the aim sight for the
Gothic Warlord?
The Gothic Warlord.
Yes, yeah. I did. Red tips, very helpful for most environments. Good. The green tip here, nice and bright, should help stand out in most environments. Should be very helpful for you when you're trying to shoot people from a distance and whatnot. All good, all good. So yeah, this should be helpful for most environments and should be nice and helpful for you when you shoot people in a distance. So this is made by a master. What's his name? It's made by KVA. He's been successful.
And Mr. Sad. It's
Mr. Sad. Yeah.
Collaboration there.
So
and we have the Dead Souls AK, so this would be a continuation in the weapon collection if it was to be accepted.
So
we also saw the SMG not that long ago, but unfortunately that didn't make its way in.
So we've been successful this year. I believe, was it his first skins to be accepted was the Dead Souls? I don't think so. I think he got like a random skin accepted the year previous, just before. But anyway,
I'll double check and I'll let you know. You mean before the Dead Souls collection began?
Yeah.
Is that what
you mean? Did he have something accepted just before Dead Souls?
He had a hammerhead zombie, or it's like a zombie hammer skin.
That was a Halloween skin. Yep.
And I think he has a neon cactus metal door.
Oh. Okay then. I was a fair bit wrong.
And he's got the weather collection.
Oh yeah, that's definitely going quite far back.
Of that. Yeah. So, and I'm looking at some of the older skins. He's been in the workshop for quite a long time.
Well, congratulations. Maybe this will be the next skin, because this year you've been quite successful with your Dead Souls collection, haven't you? We've seen Dead Souls sleeping bags, we've seen Dead Souls doors, and quite recently we also saw a Dead Souls AK. So, could we potentially see a Dead Souls SAR in a rust or rotation near you? Maybe. Mr. MICRØ, could you place it on your back? There we go. Yeah, that's looking nice and pretty. But yeah, the texture for this is basically the same texture that we've seen on all the doors, the sleeping bags and the AK. So whilst it's not super extravagant in terms of something unique per each weapon, I guess it just basically carries over for each skin. That wasn't a very nice way of putting it, but that's basically what it is, isn't it, MICRØ? It's just taking the pattern. I was going to say it's kind of like a wallpaper, and let me just roll this over.
You gotta sort of rearrange it to fit the weapon, and do like the, the work to make the whole theme kind of fit for that specific gun. But it is essentially the same, like, image arrangement, the same sort of wallpaper is putting it too
The reason why I
coarsely.
said that is because I remembered the garage door. He made 2 garage doors, didn't he? One that was literally just this texture put on the garage door, but the second attempt, he made it as if it was a towel on top of the
Yeah,
door. Would you remember
that's
that
right.
now? And that looked
No,
cool.
I definitely remember that.
And that was cool. That
Yeah.
looked that was actually like an interesting take on it. And I wonder if he could potentially do the same with his other skins, where he kind of like you could have had it like maybe it was like cutouts or whatnot, and maybe add some scratches and whatnot, just to make them a bit more like unique. Maybe there could be stickers. That might be a bit silly, but at least it would have made it a bit more unique. But regardless, Dead Souls, it's a cool little collection that has slowly been getting more and more accepted. I'm sorry for interrupting you there, Mr. MICRØ, but yeah, I just remembered way back when we looked at that submission of the garage doors, and unfortunately, I don't think that garage door was accepted, was it?
It wasn't. No.
So, shall we move on to the next weapon? Oh wow, what do I see? Oh, I haven't got it in my hands. Oops. So, I have spotted a certain pump shotgun. So we've got pump shotgun. We've got the revolver. Yeah, okay, cool. So we've got 2 more weapon skins to take a look at, gentlemen. Brace yourselves. We have in contention, potentially for next week, a pump shotgun. So this is the military pump shotgun, or it's referred to as modern military. I'm not sure why Robstar and Diaz give it a different name in the workshop, even though their original military skins were called just military skins. Boom! Right, that's going to land on someone's head. I'm joking, but yeah. It is...
That's irresponsible, Hedge. You should always practice safe
No.
firearms.
I'm on Rust
discipline.
Island. I do as I wish.
Where's your trigger discipline? Look at you.
I
Just
can't
walking
help
around
it.
ready to go off at any second.
So let me just quickly yeah, nothing. So yeah, nothing. So quite recently we did see Robstar and Diaz making the military bolt action rifle, and now they've given us the pump shotgun as well. They've submitted this as well. So if either of those get accepted, I'm happy, because these are 2 weapons that haven't really seen many skins being accepted for quite some time. We did see the likes of the recycler pump shotgun being accepted not too long ago, which was, well, that was nice, and it did hold up its value quite nicely. But with the bolt-action rifle, still waiting to see a bolt-action rifle being accepted, and that's been over a year and a half now, so either they're going to succeed with the bolt-action rifle, or they're going to succeed with the pump shotgun, or maybe they won't be successful at all. It's been a bit awkward for some of these weapon skins this year. We see a lot of AK skins, but we hardly see any pump shotgun skins. We see a lot of double barrel shotgun skins, but we hardly see any pump shotgun skins. I could go on and on and on. I do like to complain. So, let's get a good look at that. And then let's take it to the night time. Get a good look at that. I like the reflection of the star. So military collection has been successful in 2022. Seen quite a lot of skins being accepted. But unfortunately, quite a lot of those skins didn't sell that much either. I remember seeing the Python, and what else did we see fairly recently? I believe there was a military SAR that was sold not too long ago. They haven't sold that much. And I'm a bit worried that might lead to them potentially not being accepted. It's not like Robstar and Diaz haven't been successful in getting skins accepted before, so I wonder if we're still going to continue seeing them being accepted. I wonder if sales will have an impact whether they potentially get accepted or not. In theory, it most likely would, wouldn't it? But like, yeah. Any words, Mr. MICRØ? Any words?
It's done very much in the theme of the previous weapons in the set, so he definitely kept that going really well. And if you're into this set, it would be a perfect addition. That's all I can really say. It's got some, nice muted color scheme to it going on, and definitely military inspired look. So,
would you like to put it on your back?
I'd love to.
Here we are. Perfect. So, yep. Got a nice wrapping there of the camouflage. And then scroll up ever so lightly. The panels, the metal, it's all good. The leather grip, cool.
Yeah, a lot of attention to detail there on the texturing and the surface contours. That's something that we see, just like we see different designs. We see different artists doing different levels of attention to detail on those little physical um, alterations to the base weapons shape. So there's a lot of that here. A lot of I guess I don't know how much thought it feels like a lot of attention, a lot of thought went into making that design work here, and he did a nice job. It definitely has a very tactical, military inspired look, and well,
Oh, don't
it
you
works
dare!
pretty good. It works really well. This is buckshot. Ow, ow, ow.
Right, anyway. Mr. MICRØ, we have a bit of a talk about this because we were supposed to show this off last week, this being the Blackboard Revolver, but the method in which we're now grabbing the data for all the new skin continuations and whatnot, we had a bit of a problem. We made a bit of a mistake. So is that the right way to say it?
I mean, we had it on the list. We
Yes.
intended to show it. It was our intention to show this off, just like we showed off everything else last week. It slipped through the cracks when making it into our script. We prepare here for a discussion, so I guess we fumbled it a little bit, but
Yeah.
it was every intention to show this off. We're bringing it to you a little bit delayed. So.
Yeah. So this is still in contention to be accepted. It is Kua's Blackboard Revolver. And, get a good look at that. You've got a little pooky teddy bear. You've got a pumpkin on the tip there as well that I've noticed. And he's got some scribbles and whatnot. So first of all, the ever so beloved Tier 1 weapon. It is the revolver. And then I look over to here, to Mr. MICRØ, as he holds it. Look at that. So, yeah, revolver skins, they always go up in value. They are very reliable investments, and I look forward to potentially seeing another revolver skin being accepted. So, Mr. Kua, you are trying to turn your Blackboard collection into something quite nice, aren't you? You had your Blackboard revolver being accepted just before Christmas. I'm trying to figure out what he's writing here. Have you got a hidden message? What's the hidden message? What did the numbers mean, Kua? What did I mean? But yeah, it's got a lot of doodles. Looks as if it's been scribbled. It looks cool. Fun, silly design. Now we make it nighttime.
There's a little DNA on the side.
Astro Watch. Don't say such things.
I wonder whose DNA that is.
Actually, we could probably figure that out, couldn't we? But yeah, this is a revolver skin, and I would like to see revolver skins get a bit more of a shout. Maybe we can start off the new year with a nice new revolver skin. Best of luck to you, Mr. Kua. But, yeah, I've noticed a bit of a pattern. We seem to get a revolver skin every 4 months. 3 or 4 months. And it seems to be right about now. Seems like a perfect opportunity to see a new one being accepted. So, surely, maybe, possibly, yeah. But yeah, all revolver skins that came out in 2022 went up in price. Go check right now. They're all in the green. All of the revolver skins are in the green. They're all in the positive, especially during these good times. So if you're worried about, oh no, a revolver skin, I'm like, chill out. That's good. They easily go up in price. Life's good. I want one. Give it. But yeah, we cannot guarantee if a skin's going to be accepted. We could only really hope, I guess. But you know what you can do, the viewers? You can go to the workshop right now and you can vote for any of the workshop's continuations that we've seen this video. So if anything was of interest to you, please consider showing your support. Please consider voting for these skins, and maybe Facepunch will notice it, and maybe Facepunch would probably consider accepting it because of that. We shall see. So, Mr. MICRØ, could you put that on your hip?
Sure. Why don't you just swing the camera around the front? You can take a peek at the. There's a thing he snuck in there. Well, on the end of the barrel, there's a I don't know if you call it a frowny face, but then down below that, which is like the spindle where the magazine rotates on, there's a Facepunch logo. So that's cute. And then, yep, you found the hidden message on the bottom that says wrong side. And then in the front, there's a mathematical error I found. And it says 99 over 2 equals 92. And I don't know what universe you're doing math in, but in my universe, that's wrong.
Well,
So maybe this is a pupil's, a student who's not good at math. He's just good at art, and we can't hold it against him.
oh, he's been doodling, hasn't he? Right then, put it on your hip. Look pretty. Good. Now turn to your left. Yes. Ever so slightly, yes. So yeah, I look forward to it. If it gets accepted, I'll be happy. I will always support my Revolver skins. So yes, let's see if that potentially gets accepted. And with that, the weapons are done. Mr. MICRØ, all that we have left now are clothing skins. So would you like to whip out another skin that we should have showed off last week? That being the Black Gold jacket. So, this year has been the year for Black Gold. Mr. Bear Trip, you've been very successful getting many pricey Black Gold skins being accepted. So those were being sold for like $5 a piece on average. And then we saw the likes of the clothing being introduced. We saw all the core pieces. The tier 2 took forever to be accepted. I didn't go crazy.
I'll be right back.
Where's he going?
I got to put on my Black Gold hoodie and pants. Like, I don't know what I'm doing here with this. The JPEG stuff is cool.
Yeah.
But
I'll just keep talking.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, I was waiting for a very long time for that Black Gold to finally appear. It did. A great, huge sigh of relief came to me, and Black Gold clothing went up in price very, very nicely. So we've got the likes of the jacket right here. Could this potentially be accepted? Well, gentlemen, it's in your hands. You can consider voting for it. Yes, point to them, Mr. MICRØ. Point to them. Would it sell very nicely? I'm pretty sure it would. Would it be a very nice investment? I hope it would. Jacket skins, they are of great help, especially in the cold environments and whatnot. Or maybe you just want to look nice and cool when you play poker with other people. Or blackjack, I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, you could play poker in Rust. It's possible. It might be a bit awkward and some people might cheat, but it's possible. Yes.
There's no skin on this kilt. I'm just showing off that it can be worn with a kilt. So it's jacket is a pretty OP
keeps you
setup
warm and
cold and biome.
And you can still be protected. So yes, this is potentially a new skin for Black Gold. I'm not sure. Has he kind of postponed wanting to make more weapon skins for Black Gold? Because I know there was a whole bunch of them that weren't accepted. We saw them over the past year pretty much. There was the likes of the L96, there was a bar. There was a whole bunch of things, wasn't there? But is that the end for weapon skins, do you reckon? Or maybe he might bring them back out maybe quite later on in 2023 maybe. Don't know, but if you like it, do you know what you could do? You could consider voting for it. Because don't forget, next week, as I said earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if we see an insane looking Wipe Day Rust Ore rotation. Don't you think a Black Gold skin would contribute to that very nicely, along with the likes of that tempered large box? I'm just saying. So, you could be the one that helps potentially get that accepted, and all the other workshop skins. So, Mr. MICRØ, should we now move on to discussing the copper jacket?
Sure. Let me do one thing to
then.
appease Mr. Metatron. Let me just put on my Black Gold face mask. He wants me to do the whole setup with the boots
full
and the
Monty.
gloves. I can't be bothered. I'm sorry, Mr. Metatron. I can't do that, but I will show you with the mask on because we do owe it that. This is a cool set. It all works together. The hoodie and the jacket have, they line up well, and they kind of, it's all pretty stylish. Don't look at my shoes. Don't look at my shoes. I'm wearing the wrong
looking at
boots.
your pockets. I'm looking at your pockets. It's full of money. He's rich.
Yeah, well, you're not wrong.
A man with gold.
Friends. I don't have much money, but I'm rich with friends.
You're wearing gold.
And Hedge's love.
Yes. Right. Okay. Now we should move on to the copper jacket.
Okay.
Right. All right. And right. So this is a version 2, but I'm pretty sure this is a version 3, right? I know it's listed. It's labeled as a version 2. I know. But I'm pretty sure this is it's his third attempt to try and get this accepted. I guess that's just down to him, isn't it? So this is made by Duck. If you recall, earlier this year we had a whole bunch of copper skins being accepted. All the core pieces, very, very nice. And there's been quite a few attempts to try and get this jacket being accepted, the copper jacket. Yep, give us a nice spin around. Looking very nice. A nice high-vis jacket that's, more relatable to the UK police. And, yeah. Gentlemen, do you like what you see? Do you want to knock on people's doors and say they've been very naughty? And
should I do the hoodie pants too? I guess I gotta do that. If we're gonna do Blackboard, might as well do it for this.
You don't need to add the armor, but the hoodie and the pants would be nice. But yeah, for all you role players out there, wouldn't you like to dress up as a policeman and do a bit of raiding? It's so good.
Run around and catch some criminals. There's a lot of those in Rust.
My neighbours are criminals, all right. They deserve this. It's supposed to be this way. So, Mr. MICRØ, do bring yourself back.
I'm over here at the repair bench. I'm just doing one other skin on here, so I'm gonna come back, and I'll show off the hoodie and the pants, and then
you do look like you're going.
Yeah. Oh, I couldn't resist also doing the old school yellow police hoodie.
That's it. So when we first saw the original pieces of Copper Collection being accepted, the Tier 2, that original jacket went up in price by quite a lot. But then when we got the actual copper hoodie and pants being accepted, and then it crashed back down. So, yeah. Unfortunately for that old policeman's jacket hoodie, it suffered with the existence of this, but as a full set, this looks really cool. I'd like to see it being accepted. I think a lot of people would appreciate this. It looks cool. Yeah. Get a good look at that. Give us a nice spin, Mr. MICRØ, if you can. Give us a nice spin. A nice twirl. Yes. Right. Thank you for that, Mr. MICRØ, and best of luck to you, Mr. Duck. Hopefully that potentially gets accepted. If not, why not consider making some copper weapons? That wouldn't be a bad idea. I still think you can convert maybe a longsword or maybe a salvage sword. You could convert it into a baton. All right. You could convert it into a baton. Think about it. All right. Think about it. Or maybe you could see if you can convert the mace into a large baton. Stop resisting, MICRØ. So, right. Should we move on to talking about the continuation of the Predatory collection, Mr. MICRØ? There was a surprise hoodie and pants that was submitted this week. What do we see? We have... Do you have the Predatory? Here we are. You might want to take the jacket off. Yes, it's another black collection. Hooray! So, yes, Predatory collection. If you could turn around, Mr. MICRØ, so we can see where that pattern is. Mr. Verona has decided to turn his Predatory collection into clothing, and I'm all for it, but I'm not super keen for another full black collection. And to be honest, yes, you do see the pattern there, but most of it is black, and we've literally just had Black Gold and Dragon Rage this year. What I really think he should do is, MICRØ, if you could try and get yourself to the sides as I look at you, the tiger pattern. I think he should have put the tiger pattern all over. I think he should have gone for a very faint, light orange tiger pattern all over it, and I think that would have had a better chance of being accepted. But that's just my opinion. Watch this end up being accepted next week. My luck, just my luck. You just know it's going to be like that. Looks good except for the black, the big... Oh, okay. Anyway. Okay, so, yes. That is the hoodie and the pants.
And... wait, you can't just walk past that one. You got to point out. Now, this has your mental picture. It's like perfectly depicted here. Like, zoom right in on that and show them the guy.
They're making fun of me about this now, but yes. Picture it as if it's two big eyeballs, but that the nose ridge is actually a very squinted down face, like he's angry. He's like, so and then when you zoom out a bit more, you really do see it. So instead of it being like he's a very angry little man. Right. So, Mr. MICRØ, should we now talk about the collection I've been waiting so long for, a version 2. Mr. MICRØ, whip it out, whip it out, whip it out, whip it out. Show it to us. Show it to us. What's the new thing?
I don't know. I feel like stretching this one
No,
out a little bit.
no.
Making you wait for it just a
No.
little bit more.
I
just
waited
a little
year
bit.
for this. Show it to me. Come on.
Bam!
The version 2 of Frosty hoodie and
Shabow!
pants. Right here, right now. We have waited a long time for this. So ever since around January, February time, when it was quite clear Bad Trip's Frosty hoodie pants and Frosty Tier 3 wasn't going to be accepted, so many of us were clamouring and begging and hoping to see a version 2 being made. And, well, I guess you could say quite unfortunately, the Ice King DLC came out just a couple of weeks ago, and that kind of... it might potentially have killed the chances of us seeing a Frosty Tier 3 being accepted. But now's a great opportunity to fill in the void. So what basically happened is, with that new DLC armour that came out, loads of people were buying the Frosty kilt to pair up with it. And there you go, right there. And there you go, right there. This potentially could be the Frosty collection collaboration with the Ice King DLC. Now, does this potentially rule out Bad Trip from potentially trying to get his version 2 of the Tier 3 getting out as well? I guess we'd have to wait and see if this Frosty hoodie pants version 2 even gets accepted. But this is the idea. If we saw this new DLC armor being accepted, well, not accepted, it was introduced by Facepunch themselves, maybe we could also pair up the Frosty hoodie and pants with it. Come on, Facepunch. You know you want to accept the Frozen, the Frosty hoodie pants version 2 as well. Come on. You know what to do it. Do it. So yeah, so many of us have been waiting for so long for this to get a version 2. But now it's actually happened. And now, could it be accepted for next week? Because there's a big cope. What rust or rotation was it for the Frosty to come out last year? The Tier 2, the first pieces of Frosty collection. What rotation was it last year when it came out? The first rotation. And what's next week? The first rotation of 2023. Don't you think it might happen? Don't you think it might happen? Now, if that does happen, you could potentially dress up as like this. You could be a nice, ice-cold, frozen, scary-looking ice person. So, the option's there. Do you want this? You know what to do. Please go to the workshop and consider voting for the Frosty Hoodie Pants version 2. It's right there and available. So, where's my tinfoil hat skin? I mean, if someone wants to make that, Shedmon, you're crazy for silly ideas. Go and make a tinfoil hat. But yeah, hopefully this maybe gets accepted or not. We'll see. But if this hoodie and pants doesn't get accepted, then I think that's it for Frosty. I think we could safely say, all right, that's probably never going to be accepted anymore then. It's a sad thing to say, but that would be the answer. But if it does get accepted, I wouldn't be surprised at all if Bad Trip decides to make some boots, maybe some Tier 3 again, maybe some more weapons. What's he about to do? He is a complete man. Give him what he needs. Give him what he desires, Facepunch. He wants to be the ice-cold emperor. Alright, put it all away. We've got more skins to talk about, Mr. MICRØ. Put it away. Throw it away. We've got to melt. Come on. We've got to talk about Target collection.
Well, okay. I gotta do one last thing.
Go on. Give him what he wants. Give him what he needs.
Okay, I feel better now.
Okay. Yeah, a nice bit of catharsis. So, Mr. MICRØ, yeah, just throw it there. That's all good. Right, thank you. Could you put on the Target Tier 3? So this is a version 3, isn't it? This is a version 3 for Target Collection. So earlier this year, we saw the Tier 2 being accepted. So let's go back even further. So quite a long time ago, Mr. Slanosta and Mr. Retro, they made a Target Collection. And it wasn't successful in being accepted, was it? But then they came back again and they decided to make a version 2. And the Tier 2 was accepted. And cool, alright, new collection to look out for. That's nice. And then they tried to get their Tier 3 accepted, the version 2. Didn't happen. Then they tried to get a hoodie and pants accepted. Didn't happen. I Don't know why. I'm pretty sure they don't know why either. Yep, there we are. The kilt. Thank you very much, Mr. MICRØ, for bringing that out. So, yeah, Face Punch just didn't want it. But now, I guess, seems like a perfect time to try again. Don't blame you, Mr. Slanoster, Mr. Retro. Maybe this is the time. Maybe this is where we potentially see the target tier 3 being accepted. And with that being another core piece, you would definitely expect that kilt to go up in price as well. So, oh, I thought you were about to bring out the workshop. Oh, he has. So yeah, but this was the version that they tried to get accepted quite a long time back, but it wasn't accepted, unfortunately. So, Target collection could have been really cool, a nice grey collection, but yeah. Just to point out, that hoodie and pants came out a long time ago. It's not going to get accepted unless they make a version 2. But theoretically, this is what Target collection could have been. So, let's go over to here, and yeah, looks cool. I wouldn't call it a black collection. It's got some bright parts and whatnot, so I hope that wouldn't conflict, and with Face Punch being a bit iffy, whether they want to pick you get what I mean, another black collection. Well, I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it's fine. So yeah, Slanoster, Retro, best of luck to you. Let's see if that potentially gets accepted. I'm all for more core pieces being accepted. I've got a whole bunch of the kilts. I'd like to see them going up in price. Any words, Mr. MICRØ?
Yeah, I think I was looking at the renders on the workshop page. I mean, if you get a close-up look at the chest plate, for example, you can see there's a bunch of, I don't know if that's scratches or if that's actually like wrinkles on there. I think it might be creases and wrinkles, but it's nonetheless, it stands to represent like wear and tear. But then he's also got some sections where it's a little bit more damaged than the corrugations from the cardboard, because a lot of these targets are made from like a cardboard material.
Yeah.
That's starting to reveal, that upper layer of damage reveals that corrugated cardboard underneath. And I think that is a pretty cool idea. I mean, he's put a lot of care and attention into executing that design and making it work. And it does give the skin a lot of, it's more than just a pattern that's slapped on there and, call it a day. It's actually modeled. It's actually gives it some depth and some dimension to the texture, and that counts for something. It's
something
an extra
new,
layer of detail, and
yeah, that definitely could be what seals it for potentially being accepted. Just that extra little thing, that extra cherry on top, that could very likely be what helps them get accepted. So, not a bad idea. It definitely makes it a bit extra. So, I'm all for it, and I'm all for seeing more Target collection being accepted. I want to see that kilt go up in price.
here's the one thing. You remember with the Predator, or is it Predator or Predatory? Predatory collection. You're able to kind of squint your eyes and see another image within the intended design. It's kind of like, that abstract test when you're looking at a cloud, or a Rorschach test or whatever. I have that feeling when I look at this skin from kind of, maybe 10 paces away.
Are you going to say the smiley face?
It looks like a face with a red nose.
Yes.
Like sort of like a clown kind of nose. And I don't know. That's the only mark against it. That's like, it makes me say, well, I don't know if I want to look like a clown. But at the same time, it's like a cool design, It's so my opinion there is kind of balanced on this one. I like it. I think it's clear that a lot of care and attention and revision went into this and making that design just perfect. And he did a great job at doing that. It's just a question of, can I get past that red nose? Maybe just a white or gray center point. I mean,
maybe like an XX, maybe like an XX face where it's been shot.
Yeah, maybe something.
Just that little change.
It looks cool, and the ripped piece there, it kind of does almost make it look like a little smirk or a smile.
Yeah. And you think you can hit me? Try your luck.
It's like a tiny grin. We got big grin, and this would be like a mini grin.
Little grin. Right, Mr. MICRØ. Shall we now discuss a collection I'm very happy to see being continued? Could you whip out the Elite Crate Tier 2? Because, Mr. MICRØ, I have been waiting for this, and I knew how this was going to work out. Mr. Odyssey, he made his tier 3 just before Christmas, didn't he? And it was accepted just before Christmas. And a lot of people are like, oh, this looks cool, this is nice. Oh, it's green camouflage, yeah, cool. We even showed that off in our Saturday Skin Showcase 2 or 3 weeks ago. So this dark green it blends ever so nicely in forest areas and grassy areas. And I was like, I really, really hope we see potentially some more pieces for this. Wouldn't you believe it? Right and ready for the New Year's Rustore rotation. Gentlemen, could we potentially see this in an absolutely crazy Rustore rotation next week for Wipe Day? Imagine that. The Elite Crate Tier 2. The Tempered Large Box. The Animals Transparent. Double Doors. There's so many potential great things that could be accepted to make next week's Rustore rotation an insane start to 2023. Loads of people will be going for this. MICRØ, do you have Tier 3? Do you have the Tier 3? I think we should probably pair that up with that. I've got the skins if you want me to pass them over to you. Or
Yep. Throw them over to me. I don't have them on me.
Alright, I think I have them on me. I hope I do. So, I'm going to have to request it. So, okay.
Oh, I thought you had them in your inventory. Well, I'll just go get them then.
Oh, okay then. Sorry about that. I thought I could have just quickly grabbed some. Sorry
I just thought you meant you had them in your inventory.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want me to show these off?
Spit them out. Yep.
Sorry.
And then give it a second. Give it a second.
My inventory is so full from doing all this, all the ice stuff.
I yoinked
Wait,
it.
did you just take my thing away?
Yeah, you've accidentally got them the wrong way round. That's a chest plate. And you got the numbers mixed up. I think that was a mistake we made before. Do you remember?
Oh, it's on the spreadsheet that way.
It's the wrong way round. Yeah, it's the wrong way round. If you could swap the numbers. Yeah, that was my fault. I remember, and then we didn't bother to change it. So yeah, gentlemen, let's just stick to the point that I was trying to say. It's another core piece potentially that's going to be accepted, and Face Punch definitely seems to like Elite Crate because every time Odyssey's produced a new Elite Crate skin ever since they randomly accepted the AK after like a 2-year gap, it was a very, very extra late pick. So we saw the AK being accepted, and then we got an MP5, and then we got another skin, and then we got the Elite Crate Tier 3. It's been going very, very nicely, and what are you doing, Miss MICRØ?
I'm going to get the skins you sent me to get.
Sorry.
And I had to fix the spreadsheet to do it.
Sorry.
And then I got my inventory all jumbled up, so I'm just going to go bring it all back in.
My apologies, Mr. MICRØ. So I'll look at the floor, so I don't...
And then you try to blame it on me. It's not fair.
No, I was joking. All right, so... What we are hoping to see is more skin continuations, more core pieces being accepted so that pre-existing core pieces jump up in price. The reactionary nature of the Rust economy. And I'm still not seeing it. Oh dear. Going out, ended 2022 with a bang. So if you pass it to me, I believe I own them. I believe I have them on my account.
Oh, is it still not loading in?
It's still not loading in. Maybe you've got to throw them on the floor. Yeah.
Yikes. All right, so what's our objective here? What do we want to show?
We're going to show off the Tier 2. We'll just show off the Tier 2. So, sorry about this, gentlemen. Bit of a mistake, but yeah. If you could just put the Tier 2 back on, and we'll just wrap it up with that. Oh, I'm very sorry about this. So, yes, MICRØ, thank you. Spin it around. If we see this being accepted... The Tier 3 Elite Crate will definitely go up in price. There will be a massive surge in demand. It will spike in price. Life is good if you own a batch of them. You might want to consider probably buying into that real quickly. So, much like with the Target collection as well, if we're going to potentially see Target Tier 3 being accepted, then you'd want to buy out the Target kilt, for example. And with the Frosty version 2, the Frosty version 2 hoodie pants get accepted, then you might want to invest into the Frosty kilt right now. So, there we go. Splendid. Spectacular. I'm sorry, MICRØ. Yeah. So, yep, that is what a lot of people want to see. A lot of people want to have all the armor, the Tier 3 with the kilt. That is what they want. It's great in grassy areas, great in foresty areas, and it's a lot more affordable compared to Forest Raiders. Right. So, MICRØ, that is the last skin of the skin continuations, but you have one more skin and an extra skin that you wanted to show off because you're really impressed with it. So, shall we discuss it? What is
Yeah.
this?
Well,
Videodrome Satchel
we
Charge.
ordinarily go through the workshop and pick out a list of skins that are continuations of existing skins. So anything that might impact the skin market that is currently out there and has established sort of an equilibrium on the market for its pricing. So many times we see new pieces get introduced and that price is immediately disrupted from its established equilibrium. And for example, as soon as the Frosty collection was extended, we saw the kilt just go. We saw the happen with the JPEG the other day when the hoodie and pants got into the store. Instantly the kilt just started climbing right up. And what our typical weekly routine is showing off stuff that was accepted, and then we move on to the workshop skins. And in rare cases like we have right here in front of us, there's something that just, if it catches my eye or catches Hedge's eye and we feel like we want to show it for no other reason than it's just purely like super cool. I wanted to show off this satchel charge we saw this week. That's it's just it's really well done. I thought it was really a clever idea. It's a nice sculpture job. He did a nice job with all the textures and the design there. So that's all I can really say. It's a cool little like retro looking mini console television with some wires on the side and depicting some type of really ultra devastating event. And it looks like maybe fits into the lore of Rust somehow. We don't really know what it's meant to represent, but I just, as soon as I saw the skin and I saw the render on his workshop page, I was like, dang, that's really cool. So the only reason I wanted to show it off this week, and it's not of any particular favoritism or anything like that. It was just something that caught my eye personally, and I was like, wow, that's a great idea, and it's well executed, and it's super clever. So here, I could try chuck it on the floor over here where you can get some little 3D loop around with the camera, but
Continue.
it's not a part of a set. It's not a continuation. It's literally just a clever, creative idea that we need to see more of this level of creativity and design execution. It's just a really nice job. So
I respect that. I respect it a lot. Now, do you want to chuck it on the lake?
yeah, we'll slide it over here. See, is there anything to hit? There's no snowman. Ah, there's one snowman over here. Let's chuck it over here.
No! Oh, you killed the present. You really are a naughty person. Catch. Right, so, out with a bang for the new year. Mr. MICRØ, thank you very much for the past year with all your help that you've given me for doing... Yay! So, yeah. Happy New Year! Thank you all for watching this year. We've tried our best to show off a whole bunch of new skins that are on the horizon, showcasing the new skins that are accepted in Rust rotations. We've tried to point out some interesting things in regards to like the new DLC armor that we had last week, 2 weeks ago, where we showed off all the lighting, how it refracts light and whatnot, and yeah. So, gentlemen, throughout all of 2022, for everybody that watched during the stream. So look at all those people over there. Hello, stream people. Say hello whilst you can. MICRØ, do you want to do that thing that we're planning just before? I'm going to get that set up right now. And so basically, gentlemen, what we're going to sit here and say...
Yeah, we tested that and it didn't work.
Oh.
So...
did it?
Let's see. Maybe I can make it work. Maybe it will get lucky and it'll work over here.
Mr. MICRØ might make it work. So, as I was going to say, Thank you for all the support that you've given me and Mr. MICRØ for the past year. We're very happy that you turn up every week and you ask us questions, you point out things that we need to be aware of, and in general, helping not only the people that are interested in skins, but the people invested into the skins and whatnot. And I've gone from just under 100 subscribers at the beginning of this year, and I'm ending it with over 1,000 subscribers, and I'm very grateful for all of that. I'm very grateful for all the comments. I'm very grateful for all the views. I'm very grateful for everyone that's turned up to my server. If you want to take part in that, look in the description for YouTube videos. I've also got a Twitter as well. If you want to look for that, that's Hedges N videos at Twitter. Blah 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 blah. You get the idea. I will have that linked in the description as well. So, I'm happy that we have helped out some people and whatnot. And you're right over there, MICRØ.
Yep. If here we go. This is it. I'm gonna let her rip. If this doesn't work, then it's not gonna work.
I hope it does.
It is. It's not working.
Oh, didn't it?
So
this has been a wonderful end of the year. Don't worry, it's actually quite funny. We can only not that type of celebration, MICRØ. Oh.
we were gonna try to do like some fireworks or something like that.
Oh, it caused me to freeze.
All I got are flashbangs.
New Year!